Okay, so had a little time to cool down from the last game. You're back on ice. I know you were talking to Merch. What is the vibe of everybody right now?
The vibe was good, but I felt the vibe was good last week. So, not really different. There's obviously good energy. I've said this before about the playoffs, but you have to earn these moments. These are fun games to be a part of. Game 7, I know it's game 5, but it's a game 7 type situation. And they're great moments in your life and in your career. And so you want to enjoy them and you want to make sure you're preparing the right way. But I think the vibe has been very similar to last week, but very similar to all year. The guys have a really good approach. They come to get better. They come to learn. They come to work on their game. And I think it's been the same this week.
People always say that you learn things from the playoffs. Playoff hockey is different than regular season hockey. What's different about a deciding game than a normal playoff game?
Well, first of all, obviously there's no second chances in it, right? So you can lose game 1 and 2 as we did, learn, come back, fight back in the series. Now it's win or go home. So there's more finality to it. So there's greater stakes on every play because there's greater consequences that come with that. It's certainly not a game you want to chase in terms of getting behind too far. You can play from behind in a game like this. I mean, we did last year in game 5 in Utica. We came from behind in the third period, but you don't want to get too far, let it get too far away from you. So those are things that, that are critically important. I mean, I played some of Steve Kerr's press conference to our guys yesterday. Steve Kerr, they just won game 7 last series. And he's won 9 championships, so I think he knows a thing or two about winning big games. And I thought his, very intelligent coach. I like his style, and he talked about making the simple play over and over and over, and doing the right thing over and over and over. And I'm a huge believer, and I've talked to our team about this all year. In big moments, people don't rise to the occasion. That's false. Michael Jordan didn't elevate in big moments. He was the same stud he always was. Other people get eaten up by the big moments, right? And so it looks like the great players rise, the great teams rise, the great teams keep being who they are. And the Navy SEALs talk about that, right? You fall to your level of training. So we just want to be the best version of ourselves. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a good chance to win.
Did you find something back here in Rochester in games 3 and 4 about your team that things seem to click and get you back into this series? Or was it the same? Or was it you guys just...
Well, no, it wasn't the same. We were better, obviously, as a result. But find something, I don't know if I'd say find something. I think that I've said this all along. I believe in the heart and the resilience and the character of this group. No questions on that. Doesn't guarantee success. I thought that the guys had a really good week last week. We talked about this yesterday. We had a really good week of preparation. They were locked in on the meetings. They made the adjustments that we needed to make. We're not going to go and be a completely different team than we've been all year, but you do make adjustments in series. So I thought the adjustments that we wanted to make, they were able to put into the game. And those are things that gave us a chance for success.
When it comes to, you talked about the best part of having the time this week is allowing the younger guys to learn, that they can take things away day by day. How do you break that structure up this week when we talk about facing their power players and their elite players? How do you kind of organize it out?
I believe pretty firmly in how we practice. And it's been honed over 27 years of coaching and at the national program and with the development in mind. So we're not going to dramatically stray from how we practice and what we believe in, but we are in a playoff series. We're going to spend more time on adjustments that we can either take advantage of against them or that we need to take away from them. Special teams being one of them, but every area of the game. And we started that today. We showed some video, some things that we did well and some things we need to do better. We worked on those things in practice. We'll do the same thing tomorrow and then the same thing again on Friday.
Line construction, what do you think Brusek and Kulik take away from playing with Weissman?
Well, I think that Linus Weisbach's playing his best hockey of his pro career right now. I'm incredibly proud of him, of how far his game has come from November, October last year to how competitive he is right now, how physically competitive he is, how hard he is on the puck, his willingness to play away from the puck. His game has just grown so much. So really proud of the work he's put in to get to this spot. This is his first pro playoff. He got hurt first shift game 1 last year. So this is his first experience with this. And for him to play with the competitive nature that he's played with in these 4 games, because he was our best forward in Syracuse. It's just been really, really inspiring to see. And he's doing a good job of helping bring other guys into the fight. And I think that Rusek's been obviously excellent as well this year. And Kulik, I think, got to learn from watching in game 1 and 2. And he did a really good job absorbing those lessons without having to go through them himself. And that's a credit to his coachability, that he was able to see the intensity and the competitiveness and the physicality and then be ready for it in his own debut.
Didn't get to experience last year's playoffs either, comes in and continues to have an impact. Do you think these guys are just hungry because they missed out unfortunately on last year, or is there just a motivation to cap this season?
It's a good question. I think probably you'd have to ask them. That'd be hard for me to speak to them. I think Mersch approaches every day like it's the most important day of his life. So I think that it's probably just standard operating procedure for him.
You talked about this week was fun and that safe was death. Does that message change, or is there a new message added to that? Heading into, like you said, great opportunity, game you dream about.
Yeah. Similar. The message I had to the team on our first day back together last week was a little different than what my message was yesterday in our first day back together, just simply because of where the series was at. I think that last week we had to give them a path out of it, as a coaching staff. We had to present information to them to give them hope and belief that there's things that we can do better that we didn't take advantage of, so they can feel and see that and know that they're a great team, Syracuse, but that we can control things. And then I think this week, certainly is a little different, but certainly have fun is, I believe it. Like that's just, I do believe, it doesn't mean I'm not hard on guys. The guys will tell you I'm hard on them. And it doesn't mean I don't yell at them at times. I do. But the rink should be fun. The rink should be an enjoyable place to be. Practice should be engaging and passionate and competitive and fun. The best teams that I've ever coached, they fun and work and compete mesh. And this team's done a good job of that, building towards that as the second half of the season went on. There's teams that I've coached that have struggled. Fun is too goofy and too slappy and not hard enough. And competitive and hard work is too mundane and too boring. And they don't coexist together. And so my goal every year is to bring competitiveness and work ethic and hard work and fun and try to mesh them, because I think that's where the magic can happen.
Talk about how you guys fed off the crowd in games 3 and 4, and how your message to them was bring them into the game. And you did that by blocking shots, hits, fights, all of those things. Can you do those same things to take a crowd out of a game, heading to Syracuse for game 5?
Yes. I mean, listen, it's harder, right? It just is. The crowd's in their favor. Now we'll have a good contingent of Rochester fans over there, which is awesome. And we'll do everything we can to try to make them the loudest people in the building. But it is one of the greatest feelings in the world to win a playoff series on the road. That was an incredibly special thing that we were able to accomplish last year against one of our rivals in Utica. In their building, hard place to play, tough environment. That's a great feeling to be able to do that. And it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of competitiveness, a lot of execution, a lot of commitment to the game plan. But that's what we have to do.
Talk about how tough it is to end another team season. does it help get that message across to maybe some of the guys who hasn't experienced the playoffs when it was so tough this past weekend for Syracuse that year season?
Yeah, that's something that that we talked about last week. That's something that, you know, when I texted the captains on the bus ride home last 2 weeks ago after we were down 2-0, just to get a direction moving forward, and that's the first thing Sean Mullen responded with. It's tough to end a team season, you know, and I think that our guys showed that the fight, the collective spirit that you can have when your back's against the wall, and now they're going to be in the same spot. So as good as we played last weekend, we're going to need better to win on the road in Game 5. They're going to be better. The crowd's going to be against us. It doesn't mean we have to make more plays. It doesn't mean we have to do more things offensively, but we're going to need a higher level of whatever it takes. We're going to need a higher level of physical commitments and a higher level of commitment to our style of play and to our identity.